everyone, so today's video is going to be another video for Pride Month. Now this video is going to be all about me recommending you guys some books with trans representation. Some of them I've read, other ones I haven't read, and yeah, I'm really sorry if you can hear a lot of noise outside. I think it's currently raining and it's also very dark right now in my room, but I think my ring light is fixing that, hopefully. And I'm really sorry if you can also hear how sick I am. I'm very congested and I feel like you can hear it. I also can't properly hear myself because my ears are a bit stuffed because I'm sick. So yeah, also you can definitely hear that there's a rainstorm happening outside because I'm just now hearing it because of, again, my ears being a bit stuffed. I couldn't hear it that well before, but I can definitely hear it now, so I'm really sorry if you can hear that. But yeah, let's just get into all of these books with trans representation, and I hope you guys like it and maybe get some recommendations from me. So yeah, let's just get into them. The first book is Hell Followed With Us. Now I really hope you guys like the fact, or appreciate the fact rather, that I'm holding this book up, because grabbing this book out of my bookshelf just now knocked down all of my books and the decorations I had on top of my books. So I hope you guys are appreciating the fact that I'm holding this up. So yeah, this book has trans representation, obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be in this video. But it also has autism representation and gay representation and stuff like that. And yeah, this book is a horror book though, so it is quite gory. It is one of the most gory books I've read, but I'm not really a horror reader typically. The only reason I really considered picking this book up, and obviously it was a good reason because I really liked it considering the amount of tabs are in this book. But the only reason I picked it up was because of the autism and trans representation. So yeah, I really wanted to support the author who is autistic and trans himself, so I really wanted to support him by buying his books, and I really enjoyed it. Again, I'm not really a horror reader typically, so the gory stuff was a bit too much for me sometimes, but other than that, as you can see, I quite enjoyed it considering again the amount of tabs. I quite enjoyed it, and I really like the covers of the books always that the author has. They're very my style, which is a bit of a weird thing to say considering I just said I don't like horror, but then I see covers like this and I'm that's completely me in a cover, yeah, doesn't really make a lot of sense. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. Like I said, very gory, but it does have trans representation and it's written by a trans author, so I would highly recommend it. The next book is Felix Ever After. Now I have this book actually right here next to me, and I'm not going to grab it because, again, I feel the same thing is going to happen with this shelf where I grab this book and all the books are just going to fall, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, the book is right here. I really liked it. It is a contemporary book, a YA contemporary book, so a young adult contemporary. It's very cute and romantic, but at the same time it's also kind of nerve-wracking to read. So it does have some hurt in it, but there also is some comfort, so it is way more up my alley. So yeah, I also really like the cover of this one. Once again, you can actually see the trans character is on the cover. Obviously this has trans representation again, otherwise it wouldn't be in this video. But yeah, the trans character is on the cover because he's the main character, and you can actually see his top surgery scars on the cover, which I really like. Because before this book came out, I don't think I'd ever seen that before. Now, obviously, this book has been out for a couple years, I think, and that has happened multiple times now since then, that an author has put a character on the cover with top surgery scars visible. But this was the first time I ever saw it, and yeah, I thought it was really cool. And yeah, it's a very different genre than the book I just showed before. But yeah, I'm trying to show different types of genres so that everyone can find a book with trans representation that they want to read. So yeah, not everyone's gonna like gory horror books. So if you want something a lot more cuter, romantic, and also a bit nerve-wracking, once again, it's not all romantic. So yeah, if you want something like that, I would recommend this book. So yeah, let's just move on to the next book. So I know the lighting probably got a little bit too bright at the end there when I was talking about Felix Ever After, because the lighting in my room got a lot brighter. But yeah, hopefully I can fix that in editing. But yeah, the next book that I want to talk about is actually a manga, and that is Boys Run the Riot. The main character in this is a trans guy, and I noticed this as I was like making this list of books with trans characters, is that a lot of them were trans guys, and there were like almost no trans women, which I then like looked up like a list of like books with trans women, and like a lot of them are just like so not well known. So yeah, I feel like I should maybe make a separate video for that about like books with trans women, but I feel like I have to like read them first to see if they're good, because like there's not a lot of reviews for a lot of them, so I don't trust me like putting them into a video and then people telling me in the comments like, oh, those are actually like horrible books that's like really like transphobic. Like I don't trust myself with that. So yeah, for now I have a couple with like trans women, but not a lot. The majority of them are with trans men, so I apologize for that. But yeah, this is a manga with a trans guy as the main character. He is in high school, I believe, so that's why I say trans guy instead of like trans man, because he's not a man, like he's not an adult. So yeah, that's why I say guy instead, because calling him a trans man feels like I'm making him a lot older than he is. He's like 14 or 15 in the first volume, I think. So yeah, calling him a man just feels weird. But yeah, that's not me like demasculinizing him or something. That's just me being weird about like calling like someone who's considered like a child almost like a man. Like that feels weird. I would do the same thing if he was like a cis guy. I would also call him like a guy. Like that's not a man. So yeah. Anyway, that's not me trying to be like transphobic in any way, but yeah, this is one of the few mangas I know that has like good trans representation, and I've read the first 2 volumes, I think. I want to read more of them soon, but they come out like really slowly, so yeah, I would highly recommend this if you're looking for a manga with like trans representation. So yeah. Then next we have one of the books actually that I saw on that list of like books with like trans women as like representation instead of trans men, and yeah, one of the books I found was Nevada. This is a book about a trans woman going on a road trip, I think. And I think it's a bit like scary. Like I think it's like a thriller or something like that. Like it's definitely not like a contemporary. I think it's a bit more sinister than that. I don't remember like the full like synopsis that was given. But I'm pretty sure when I read it, I was like, that's not like a contemporary. It's like a bit darker than that. Like it's a lot more real, like a lot more realistic. Like that's what I mean. I don't think it's like a horror or a thriller necessarily. I think it's just a lot more like real, you know? You're not getting like cute, fluffy, like romance. You're getting a bit more like realism. So yeah, I don't know if I'm explaining that well. Like I said, I haven't read this book and I only heard about this book like yesterday, so I don't know a lot about it. And yeah, I also didn't write a lot down. That's probably my fault, but yeah, like I said, I would recommend it. Like it had good reviews, so yeah, I would recommend it, and if I find it somewhere I will definitely read it. So yeah. Then next we have this book. I'm not gonna read the title, or like say the title rather, because I can't say it because I'm too sick, and whenever I say it I cough for some reason. So yeah, I can't say the title, but this has trans representation obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be in this video. But this is a like science fiction, so it's not typically my taste in books, but I'm pretty sure the reason that I put this like on my TBR, because I have it on my like one to read, like on like Storygraph and like Goodreads. I forgot the name for Goodreads for a second, but yeah, I think the reason why I put it on there, even though it is science fiction, is because I think it also has autism representation. I'm not 100% certain of that, because I don't think I saw it anywhere in the reviews. But I think somebody put this on their like books with autism representation video. I think someone put it on there and I saw the video and I put it on my TBR. So yeah, this has trans representation of that, I'm sure. The autism representation, I'm not 100% sure of that, but I hope it does. And yeah, again, I want to read this even though I'm not really like a science fiction person. I do want to read it, so yeah. Then next we have another book I cannot pronounce. And this is I think it's a graphic novel, or it might not be. Like it seems like a graphic novel to me, but the concept is really interesting. The main character is trans, and I'm pretty sure I read somewhere in the reviews that they like get magically transported into the body that they want. Still, it has like consequences, because like they still don't feel 100% comfortable, because like in their head they still think that they have the body they used to have before they had magical powers or something like that. Like it seemed really interesting. I don't know if I explained it correctly because again, I only looked this up yesterday. I knew of this book before yesterday, but I only knew what it really was about yesterday, so I don't have like a full grasp of like the whole concept, I guess. But it seemed really interesting when I read it, like the review, not the book. But yeah, I do want to read it if I like find it somewhere. Again, I need access to these type of books because typically I don't really find them where I live. So yeah, I do want to read it. It seems very interesting and I would recommend it because it has really good reviews. So yeah. Then next we have I Wish You All the Best. Now this is a YA contemporary. It's like very cutesy. Like it's not like some of the other books I've talked about on here. This is very cute, very fluffy most of the time. It does talk about some more like difficult topics, but it's not like the main focus. And yeah, the main character is non-binary. And I also just want to say, like, I really love the cover, but that's not what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say is I apologize for the way that my hair probably looks because I'm really warm because I'm still sick. So I'm like a bit too warm. And I feel like my hair is showing that by like kind of like exploding a bit. But yeah, I apologize for that. But again, I really love this book. I really liked it. I gave it like 4.5 stars, I think. I really like it. I really wish that my cat hadn't like scratched this book up though. I don't know if you can see it, but like he scratched on it. And I kind of despise him for that. Like he's pretty cute, but I really wish he wouldn't like attack my books. But yeah, I really like this book. I would recommend it if you're looking for like a cute, fluffy book with like non-binary representation. I would recommend it. So yeah. Then next we have another book that has been on my TBR for a very long time. I'm pretty sure I had this on my TBR from like almost the moment it was released, so like over 10 years ago, I think. Don't quote me on that, it might be less than that. But yeah, that book is Peter Darling. It's like a Peter Pan like retelling, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. It has trans representation and gay representation, and to me it feels a bit like creepy. Like it's not a thriller or like a horror, but it has like some elements to it that make it like a bit like nerve-wracking to read probably. I can't fully explain it because again I haven't read the book, but yeah, I do want to read it. It's been on my TBR ever since it came out. I just can't find it anywhere. It's just like impossible to find. So yeah, I would recommend it, but again, according to the reviews, it is quite good. So yeah, you have to just take their word for it, I guess. So yeah. Then next is a book that people either love or hate, and that is The Transition Baby. Now, I wanted to read this book for a very long time, and then I got it, and I started reading it, and I was a bit like, I'm not into this right now. Like, I don't want to read it now. Maybe I'll read it later, because some people, like, really hate the characters in this book, and other people love them. So I feel like I'm a bit, like, nervous to see where I land on it, because I feel like I either see really positive reviews of this book and people like praising it, or I see really negative reviews. Like it's either 5 stars or 1 star. Like there's no in between, it seems. So I'm really nervous to read this, but don't let like the title scare you off. It does have like trans people as representation. I think what it mainly like talks about is how like when it comes to like people who have detransitions, a lot of them, or like a significant amount of them, I don't know exactly how many of them, like what percentage, but a lot of them will say that they detransitioned because of like social pressures. Like I want to give like an example of someone who's like a celebrity who detransitioned, but I don't think I can say the name. But like again, a lot of people are gonna say, oh, they never actually transitioned, so they can't detransition. But like y'all bullied them until they literally stopped identifying as non-binary. Like that is socially detransitioning someone. That is literally like forcing someone almost to detransition. Like I just don't like it. But I think that's what mainly this book like talks about, how some people detransition because they feel like they don't have a choice. So yeah, like not all people who detransition are like really mean towards like trans people. Like there's a lot of them who just don't have the resources to be trans in the way that they want, and so they detransition because it's the easier option. Like that is completely understandable to me as someone who really wants to like sometimes like bind their chest, but I can't because of like my disabilities. It's like impossible for me to do that. So I can understand like wanting to transition or do something that, you know, makes you feel better about your body, but you can't because of, again, either like social pressures, or you have no money, or again, physical issues. Like, I can completely understand that. So again, I'm either gonna love or hate this book, and I hope I'm gonna love it. So yeah, I would recommend this book, but again, it is more on the controversial side, I guess. But it does have trans representation, and it is written by a trans person, so I think it's written by a trans person. I'm pretty sure of that, but yeah, I would recommend it, but just read the reviews first and see what you think. So yeah. So I actually wanted to end this video here with like these books, but then as I was looking through my bookshelf, I found this book, which is Queer Body Power. Now I'm pretty sure the author of this book is non-binary, which I feel like I remember that because I follow them on social media, and like the pronouns that they use on like the back of this book and like the about the author section, they use they them pronouns. So I'm pretty sure this book has trans representation. It is like a non-fiction, but it's about like the author's like life and experiences as like a queer person and a non-binary person and like a disabled person. So to me it does have trans representation, but also I don't know if it fits on this list, so I'm just adding this as like a last book. Like if you want to read it, read it. It is very good, as you can see by the amount of tabs I put on this book. It is a very good book. I don't know if it fits on this list necessarily, but it is a very good book. And I personally like really resonated with it as someone who's also like queer and not cis and disabled. Like I really like saw myself in this book a lot of the time, which again explains the amount of tabs. So yeah, don't know if it fits like on this list necessarily, but I put it on here. So yeah, let's just end this video now. So I'm really glad I made it through this video. It was a mess with like the light constantly changing and me feeling bad and being too warm and my hair looking bad, and that was a whole mess. But I'm really glad I managed to actually film this before June, because obviously it is a time sensitive video with me wanting to make this video for Pride Month, and also made this video keeping in mind that like the amount of transphobia and also the amount of homophobia, but especially the amount of transphobia, is definitely gonna go up once June starts, which it's already bad enough right now, and it's just gonna get worse. And I'm really scared for that, to be honest. Like I'm not looking forward to Pride Month in the same way that I wasn't looking forward to like Autism Acceptance Month. Like I wasn't looking forward to that either, because I knew it was gonna be bad. And with Pride Month, I have like almost exactly the same feeling. So that's why I made this video, just to like show my support in like a very small way to like trans people out there, and obviously like other LGBT plus people, but yeah, trans people mainly, because I know the amount of like hate that the community is probably gonna face. So yeah, I'm really sorry for that already in advance. Like this will be posted in June. It's currently still May. I already apologize for the amount of like hateful stuff that is going to be spread around. I'm really sorry for that. I hope this video kind of helps with like showing you that like good trans representation is out there. So yeah, thank you for watching. I guess I hope you guys are having a good Pride Month. Yeah, I really hope so. But yeah, thank you for watching, and bye.